Hi, everybody. My name is Harsha Shetty. I work with Mendix right now, doing consulting, advisory, pre-sales. I've been with Mendix for almost 3 years. Mendix is a Siemens company. I am computer science engineer by profession. I started working in the year 2003. First 5 years of my career, I did software development. I felt that there is nothing else out there in the world than developing a software. Soon I realized that I'm not actually made for doing software development, sitting in a closed room, not interacting with a lot of people. Switched my career to more customer interfacing roles. Since I had a flavor of tech, I went into techno-functional roles, pre-sales, consulting, solution architecture, right? Stuff like that. First 10 years of my career, I spent in the telecom world with the likes of Huawei Technologies, Alcatel-Lucent, and various others. Then I switched to the enterprise side of things, worked with the SIs like Tech Mahindra, did some research in Gartner, also worked with a startup bringing about a low-code platform into the market, and now with Mendix doing low-code, no-code, SaaS, BPM, RPA, AI, all of these bundled into the low-code, no-code scheme of things per se. All right, so that's my career till now. That's what I have been doing right now. My aspirations for what I would like to do in the future, well, considering what I have built over a period of time in terms of my expertise, I would love to help people identify a lot of technologies, make these technologies easier for people to understand, adopt. I would definitely be in the scheme of things when it comes to consulting, advisory, and pre-sales. So that's something which I would love to do, and I would love to continue to do as well. All of the platforms out there are incorporating AI into the scheme of things. They are doing it in two segments, enhancing the ease of development and also enhancing the capabilities of the application by incorporating AI into it. For ease of development, there are various things the developer actually gets benefit from the AI, right from architecting the solution. Say, for example, I enter the user stories, the AI itself gives me the base architecture, base framework of the application. I want to develop a user interface, say, for example, an e-commerce front end. So I give the user stories, I give the UI development. So I enter my user stories and the requirements of what the e-commerce front end should look like. And the AI platform actually builds the entire user interface, the user experience itself for me, right? So that's amazing. If I want to build a logic, so AI gives me the entire logic flow built for the entire platform, including the workflows and the functions that needs to be executed, etc. Right. So in terms of testing, testers, in fact, face a lot of problem in terms of developing the test scripts, the test data, analyzing the output from the test. So AI helps these testers by developing the test scripts, putting together the test data, executing the tests, and also analyzing the test results at the end, right? So all of these things put together actually enhance the lives of developer to a large extent. How will this help developers or probably the enterprises hiring these developers? Say, for example, you're spending 100 man days for completing a project, right? On conventional technologies like Java, .NET, React, anything. Assume you bring in low-code, no-code developer and a platform and project the development period to be reduced by 50%. So you take 50 man hours or 50 man days, sorry. If you infuse AI into the platform, the overall scheme of things, the efficiency can probably be increased by around 20% more, which means that instead of 50 man days, you can publish your application in 40 man days, 35 man days per se. So you can see efficiencies in terms of the overall go-to-market with such technology being adopted by the local platforms. On the other side, when you infuse AI into the application to enhance the capabilities of the app itself per se, It's more to do with how these platforms are integrating with the AI platforms out there. It could be for use cases like chatbot, document processing, OCR, image classification, image recognition, forecasting, and many, many such use cases. There are already trained models out there, or probably the tools available for you to train. And the data scientists that I've spoken to in many of these organizations, they either use Python or probably use some of these ML tools out there in the market to build their models. So the problem they face right now is to host them in an IT ecosystem, expose them over an API, and also build a user interface on top that can actually consume these models, orchestrate the output that is received from these models, and present it in a manner that the user perceives it well. So this is something which the LCNC platforms are actually addressing, where low-code developers develop that interface on the top, consume this over an API, consume ML models over API, present the output to the user. It also means that you need to understand the APIs exposed by these ML models, perceiving the input and the output, and various other things, right? So that's what is happening with respect to the AI in the LCNC adoption currently. All the platforms in the LCNC ecosystem are investing in AI in one or the other way. Now, majorly, if you see, all of these platforms are investing in developing some sort of a methodology where they are giving you connectors, ready interfaces, modules that allow you to connect to various AI platforms out there in the market, right? So the platforms could be your IBM Watson, SAP Leonardo, AWS Bedrock, Azure ML, and so on. So these are popular platforms out there which people are using. All of the LCNC platforms, first thing they're doing is trying to build ready connectors that can be consumed and connect to these platforms. Now, when it gets a little more serious in terms of what else can you do, how can you actually enhance the lives of developer with AI? What more can you do in terms of embedding an ML model within the framework of the application itself? That's where the degree of investment, degree of complexity varies. And that's where some of the platforms actually stand out. If you look at the leaders quadrant of latest Gartner MQ for LCAP, which is low code application platforms, you see Mendix and OutSystems, which are clear leaders out there, are investing heavily on AI and ML. And of course, I would rate Mendix a little higher because of the investment which Siemens is making into the Mendix R&D. So Mendix is actually thinking a little ahead in terms of how to incorporate the ML models within its framework, not just integrating with the third-party ML models out there and third-party AI platforms, right? ServiceNow and Appian are working on their core strengths. How do they improve the ability of developers to build the workflows quicker with AI? SFDC has a platform which is called Einstein, an AI platform. Not sure how integrated and how effectively it works with the low-code platform itself, but they are again making a lot of these claims on the AI part as well. What Microsoft is doing is absolutely amazing. Their Copilot, which is the AI module, works pretty well with the Power Apps, which is their low-code tool, and improves the way the developer actually develops the application by understanding the requirements of the application in a natural language, gives you the framework, gives you the design, helps you with development, a lot of things which we just spoke in the previous question itself. All of it, Copilot actually does and promises to do in the future as well. So I'm pretty excited with this whole space itself, and Copilot is really, really killing it right now. Well, surely yes. consider the Indian scenario right now. With the platforms, with the enterprises who have adopted the LCNC platforms for doing app development, I see that the penetration of such platforms has been probably around 10 to 20% of the applications which the enterprises have built in their entire ecosystem. If you look at the trends being spoken about by the analysts and industry experts as well, it is bound to grow. If you consider the Indian market to be a little behind with the American, the European adoption of low code, no code, I'm very positive that we'll at least see 40 to 50% of the application in the next 3 to 4 years developed on the low code, no code platforms. So when this is happening, considering you are penetrated by 50% of all your apps developed with low code, all of the apps, all of the apps, 50% of them developed with low code, one out of two developers actually has access to a low code, no code platform, which is enhanced with AI, has all the tools that actually allows you to consume an AI platform and the output from the AI platform. That's a great thing. So your penetration of AI also is going to significantly improve and increase basis the penetration and the increased adoption of the low code, no code platform itself, right? So that is something which is, I feel, directly proportional to each other. Well, as we spoke earlier, as AI is going to help developers in terms of architecture, development, testing, governance, and various things, it is going to help developers to develop applications that are completely sanitized, bound to perform well, less number of bugs, and probably have better user experience. Now, when this all happens, definitely there's going to be less technical debt, and you will have to worry less about how to manage, maintain the entire project, code, tests, etc. Well, low-code, no-code developers have to focus on learning two things. They will have to understand what are the AI platforms out there which require integration with the low-code, no-code platforms. So understand these connectors available, perform some POCs, understand the API structures, develop some sort of a use case with that interacts with these AI platforms and try it out. Because this is not something which you will read and understand. It's mostly to be done on the job. And that will definitely improve your skills, not just being a low-code, no-code developer, but you will also understand what's happening in the AI world also, right? I would also encourage these developers to go to the next step and start learning on building some of these ML models themselves. I'm not asking them to become data scientists themselves, but most of the enterprises that I've actually seen, they don't actually have data scientists, but they still have a way of managing these ML models and some of these analytics that they do themselves, right? How do they do it? Now, there are no-code AI tools available to build the ML models without even writing a single line of code or a single line of script per se. There is a SageMaker from AWS. There is Lobe from Microsoft. There is CreateML from Apple. Google has AutoML and a few other tools as well. So depends on the use case, of course, but start learning some of these tools. Try and create the model yourself, or if there is a model out there, incorporate that model into your project and start training the model, retraining the model. This will help low-code, no-code developers build an additional skill set in terms of the AI/ML as well, along with their core LCNC skills.